John Miller lived a quiet life on Earth. He was a mechanic who loved fixing old space bikes and broken droids. He had no big dreams, no exciting plans, just work, food, and sleep. That was his daily routine. One rainy evening, John received a strange message. It came through his dusty old holopad, which hadn't beeped in weeks. You are requested to report to the Galactic Law Office Sector 7 regarding the will of Baron Edwin Thorne. Identity confirmed. You are the sole heir. John stared at the message in shock. Uncle Edwin, the crazy space explorer? It hadn't heard from his uncle in years. People said Edwin Thorne had traveled far beyond known space. Some said he found ancient alien secrets. Others said he went mad chasing stars. John had never believed those stories, till now. The next day, John stood inside a tall silver building that reached into the sky. The Galactic Law Office was quiet and filled with alien lawyers who looked like walking squids. A robotic assistant guided him to a glowing desk. A hologram of his uncle appeared, smiling like a mad scientist. John, if you're seeing this, then I'm dead. Sorry about that, boy, but I've left you everything I own. That includes my credits, my private space station, and ... a few living things. Treat them well. The lawyer handed him a data cube and said, Please sign here. You are now the legal owner of all Baron Thorne's possessions. John blinked. Wait, ... What do you mean by living things? Just then, two tall alien women walked into the room. One wore sleek red armor and had glowing yellow eyes. Her skin was dark blue, and she moved like a soldier. The other was gentle-looking, with pale green skin and large purple eyes. She wore a long white coat and carried a strange scanning device. The armored one saluted. I am Zeri of the Andari. Orclin, I swore a life debt to Baron Thorne. Now, since he passed, I now serve you. The other bowed politely. I am Vela, former scientist of Aquaria Prime. Your uncle rescued me during a deep space mission. I owe him my life. That life debt is now yours. John's jaw dropped. Wait, what? This must be a joke. No joke, said the lawyer. They were legally bound to Baron Thorne. Now they are bound to you. If you refuse, you forfeit the inheritance. John rubbed his face. So, ... I'm rich. I own a space station, and now I have 2 alien women under a life debt contract. The lawyer nodded. Correct. Soon, John was sitting inside a luxury star cruiser, flying toward a private space station named Starhaven. Zari sat across from him, sharpening a plasma blade. Vela sat beside him, reading technical files on a glowing tablet. I still don't understand this, John said. Why would my uncle ... include you two in his will? Zari spoke without looking up. He saved my clan from a hive invasion. I offered him my blade. He accepted. Vela added, he rescued me from a dying planet. My people believe in serving. Those who give us a second life? John leaned back and sighed. Fix droids. I'm not some galactic hero. Perhaps, Zari said, you will become one. Vela smiled softly. You have kind eyes, John. I think your uncle saw something. In you. When they arrived, John couldn't believe his eyes. Starhaven was a massive station, floating above a red gas giant. It had silver towers, glowing gardens, and powerful shields. The droids buzzed around, cleaning and maintaining every corner. The station's central AI, named ALYX, greeted him. Welcome, heir of Thorne. All systems are yours. Warning. A recent unauthorized scan was detected. Possible threat near Sector C. John frowned. Already? I just got here. Zari stepped forward. Let me handle it. If someone's here, I'll find them. Vela checked her scanner. There's energy buildup near the storage bay. Someone may be trying to break in. John followed the 2 alien women through sleek silver halls. Zari moved like a silent shadow, her plasma sword ready. Vela's scanner blinked faster as they reached the bay doors. Zari held up a hand. Movement inside. Armed, John whispered. Shouldn't we call the space police or something? Zari grinned. No need. You have me. She kicked open the door. Inside, 3 armored alien mercenaries were trying to cut open a sealed vault. They turned in surprise too late. Scifi leapt forward, a blur of motion. One attacker went down. Groaning, the second raised a weapon, but Vela hit him with a shock pulse from her scanner tool. The last one ran, but John grabbed a heavy tool from the wall and knocked him down with a lucky swing. Breathing hard, John stared at the fallen intruders. What were they looking for? Scifi pointed at the sealed vault. Something valuable. Scanned it. There's a strange energy signature inside. Whatever it is, it's very old. Very powerful. The AI spoke again. Warning, Vault 1 is a classified object. Only the heir's biometrics can open it. John swallowed and stepped forward. Let's see what Uncle Edwin left behind. He pressed his hand to the scanner. The vault hissed and opened slowly. Inside was a small cube, glowing with soft blue light. It floated up and hovered in front of him. Suddenly it pulsed and sent a gentle shock through his hand. Then it settled down and floated calmly. Vila gasped. It reacted to you. Ziri's eyes narrowed, only to him. John stared at the glowing cube. What the hell are you, and why do people want you? The AI responded. Artifact registered. Vilari origin. Classification. Galactic level technology. Scifi and Vela both turned to John. Your Uncle Vela said slowly, was keeping secrets. And now, Scifi added, those secrets are yours. John looked from one alien woman to the other. He sighed. I was just a mechanic yesterday. Now I have a fortune, a space station, enemies trying to kill me, and 2 alien women sworn to me. He looked at the cube again, and somehow I think this is just the beginning. John Miller didn't sleep that night. He sat in his new command room on the Starhaven space station, staring at the glowing cube, the Valerie artifact. It hovered in the air, silent and mysterious. Every few minutes it pulsed with soft blue light, like it was breathing. John had no idea what it was or what it did, but it had reacted to his touch. It meant something. Across from him, Scifi cleaned her plasma blade. Her armor shimmered in the dim light. She looked calm, but her eyes were always scanning, watching for danger. Vela sat beside a console, quietly, running scans and reading files. Her long green fingers moved across the screen quickly. She had already learned more about the artifact in 1 hour than John could in a week. Finally, John broke the silence. Why did my uncle have this thing? And why are people already trying to steal it? Vila looked up. This artifact is not ordinary. It's old, very old. The Vilari were a powerful alien race. Everyone thought they were gone for thousands of years. John scratched his head. So what does it do? No one knows, Vela said. The last known Vilari artifact caused a civil war between 2 empires. Scifi spoke next. And now you hold one, which means you are a target. John groaned. That's just great. Suddenly the station's AI, ALYX, gave a sharp warning. Alert. Multiple unidentified ships approaching. Shields are holding. Docking systems are under attack. Scifi stood up at once. Battle ready. Vila's eyes widened. 3 ships, not registered. They're jamming our signals. Stood 2. They're coming for the artifact again, aren't they? Yes, Scifi said, her voice cold. They will regret it. The enemy ships were small, but fast. They fired at Starhaven's outer doors, trying to break through. The station shook, but the shields held. Inside, Scifi took charge like a true warrior. Vila shut down outer power lines, locked down all sections except B7 and C4. John, follow me. May need to unlock something with your handprint again. John followed her through the station's silver halls. Red lights flashed. As the alarm echoed through the walls, droids buzzed around, securing doors and locking systems in Sector B7. The wall exploded. Smoke and sparks flew everywhere. From the smoke, tall figures in dark armor marched in. Their weapons glowed with red energy. One of them pointed and shouted, "Get the human! Take the artifact!" Scifi didn't wait. She jumped forward with her plasma blade spinning. The first attacker tried to shoot, but Scifi sliced his gun in half, then kicked him into a wall. The next 2 tried to surround her, but she moved like lightning. Dodging and striking with perfect precision, John ducked behind a wall, pulling out a pulse blaster he barely knew how to use. "Don't shoot yourself," he muttered, then peeked out and fired. He missed the first shot. The second hit one attacker in the leg, slowing him down. Scifi quickly finished him off with a punch to the helmet. Vila's voice crackled in through the cum. "They've hacked part of the power grid. I'm working on stopping them, but more intruders are landing on the lower level," John yelled. "Where's the artifact? Still locked in the vault?" said Vela. "For now," Scifi nodded to John. "We need to protect it. Come on." In the vault chamber, Vila was already working. She had activated defense drones, but the outer vault door was starting to heat up. Someone was cutting through. John looked at the artifact, which now glowed brighter. "Is it doing that on purpose?" Vela nodded slowly. "Senses danger. I think it's waking up." John reached out, and the cube floated into his hands again. This time it spun slowly and projected a star map above them. Scifi stepped beside him. "That is not just a map. Those are lost coordinates, ones no longer found in any galactic charts." John blinked. "My uncle hid a map inside this thing." "Why, maybe he wanted you to finish what he started," said Vila. "Or maybe he wanted to hide something very important." Before they could discuss more, the outer vault door exploded. Scifi rushed forward and threw a plasma mine at the entrance. It blew back some of the invaders, but more came. They wore heavy armor and carried shield-breaker weapons. Vila ducked behind the console, sending electric charges through the floor. Two invaders screamed and dropped. John clutched the artifact and ran toward the back hallway. "I'm getting this out of here." Scifi and Vela followed him, covering his escape. The three of them ran through twisting halls. John's heart pounded. He had never felt so alive or so afraid. Blaster shots rang out behind them. They reached the escape lift and jumped inside. Scifi slammed the button. The lift shot upward. When the doors opened, they were in the top-level observatory. It was a wide glass dome with a clear view of space. Stars sparkled above and below them. They saw the enemy ships trying to break the station's outer layer. Vela rushed to the main console and activated full lockdown. L, Y, X. Seal all outer ports. Activate interior firewalls. Lock enemy. "Movement confirmed," said the AI. "Countermeasures active. Warning. Power core overheating." Scifi looked at John. "They'll keep coming until they get the artifact or destroy the station." John looked down at the cube in his hand. "There has to be something I can do." He held it up. Suddenly the cube flashed. A beam of light shot out and hit the station's core computer. The AI paused and spoke again. "New data received. Activating emergency jump protocol. Destination: Valerie Beacon World." John shouted, "Wait, what?" Scifi stared. "It's taking us somewhere." Vila gasped. "John, the artifact is leading us as coordinates to a secret world. Your uncle must have programmed this. Do we follow it?" John asked. Scifi placed a hand on his shoulder. "It's your choice, but if we stay here, we die." John looked at both of them, one a warrior, one a scientist. Two alien women sworn to him by an ancient contract, and somehow he felt they were more than that now. They were his only real allies in the galaxy. He nodded. "Then let's go." The station shook again as another blast hit the lower level. The AI counted down. "It's been 10, 9, 8. Scifi gripped her blade. Vela held the console steady. 3, 2, 1. In a burst of light, the station vanished. The space station Starhaven shimmered into view above a small, green-blue planet. It looked peaceful from orbit, calm oceans, wide forests, and mountains rising like ancient guards. But the station had just escaped a deadly attack. John Miller still felt the adrenaline in his veins. He sat at the observation deck, holding the glowing cube carefully. The Valerie artifact was quiet now, but it pulsed softly like a heartbeat. It seemed alive. Beside him, Vela studied the star map projected from the cube. "This world," she said slowly, "is called Valara Prime. It is the lost homeworld of the Valari people." John blinked. "Lost?" I thought they were extinct. Vila shook her head. Not extinct. Hidden. The Valerie vanished thousands of years ago, leaving behind their technology and secrets. Many believe the planet is a tomb, but the artifact says otherwise. Scifi stood near the window, watching the planet below. My clan's legends mention the Valari. They were once the strongest warriors and builders in the galaxy. If their tech is real, it could change everything. John looked between them. So my uncle's artifact is a key? Yes, Bella answered. A key and a map. And maybe more. Suddenly the artifact glowed brighter. John reached out and the cube floated into his palm again. This time it projected a three-dimensional image. It showed a large, ancient stargate. Buried beneath the surface of Valara Prime, the gate was covered in strange symbols that moved like living light. Wow, John breathed. So that's what we're looking for? Vila nodded. Stargate can open paths to other places faster than any ship. Scifi frowned. But opening it will not be easy. Ilari built strong protections to keep enemies out. John felt a mixture of fear and excitement. He never wanted to be a hero. But now, with these two alien women by his side, he felt stronger. Let's get ready, John said. We're going down. The landing shuttle shook as it entered the atmosphere. A Valar Prime? Green trees rushed past the windows, and the sky was a soft blue dot. John looked at Scifi and Valar. This feels like an adventure. Scifi smiled slightly. It is. And a dangerous one. The trio landed in a clearing surrounded by tall trees and strange plants. The air smelled fresh and clean, but they knew danger was close. Vila activated a scanner. The gate is about 2 kilometers from here. The reading shows strong energy fields. John tightened his grip on the artifact. Lead the way. As they walked through the forest, John noticed the quiet strength of his companions. Scifi moved silently, watching for threats. Her armor gleamed even in the soft sunlight. She carried her plasma blade ready. She didn't use it unless needed. Vela was focused on her scanner, occasionally pointing out plants and telling John their uses. These vines can heal wounds, she explained. And those berries contain energy, John smiled. You make it sound like a space jungle tour? Vela laughed softly. Maybe it is. Suddenly the ground shook. John stumbled. Ziri's eyes narrowed. Something big is coming. From the trees, massive four-legged creatures appeared. They looked like armored beasts, with sharp horns and glowing eyes. They growled deeply and charged toward the group. John froze. Scifi stepped forward. Stay behind me. She leaped into battle with incredible speed and power. Her plasma blade glowed bright as she swung it, cutting the beast's horns and defending against attacks. John watched in awe. Scifi was more than just a warrior. She was like a living storm. Vela quickly set up energy traps around the area. Slowing the creatures down, John pulled out his pulse blaster and fired carefully. The creatures roared and backed away. After a fierce fight, the beasts retreated into the forest. John's heart pounded. That was close. Scifi wiped her blade. Valara is not safe. We must hurry. After the fight, they reached a rocky hill covered in glowing symbols. The entrance to the Stargate lay hidden beneath thick vines. John held the artifact up. It floated toward the gate, and the symbols on the stone began to shine. Vela examined the gate's surface. This technology is beyond anything I have seen. The gate's power source matches the artifact's energy, John said. So the artifact activates the gate? Vila nodded. Yes, but only when the right person holds it. John felt the cube pulse stronger in his hand. Suddenly the gate hummed, and a large circle of light opened, showing stars and galaxies beyond. It's working, John exclaimed. Scifi smiled briefly. Good, but be ready. I don't know what lies beyond. John stepped closer to the gate. As he looked into the swirling portal, he thought about his life back on Earth. Simple, quiet now. Everything had changed. Before stepping through, the artifact glowed brighter. John felt a strange warmth in his chest. The cube sent a soft pulse, almost like a heartbeat matching his own. He turned to Vela and Scifi. Are you ready? They nodded. Together, they stepped through the stargate and vanished. On the other side, they arrived in a vast chamber filled with ancient machines and glowing crystals. The air was filled with a soft hum of power. John looked around in wonder. This is the Valerie home base. Valoran scans. The technology here is incredible. Could heal worlds, provide energy without limits, and defend entire planets. I walked carefully, but it has been abandoned for centuries. John held the artifact up again, floated toward a large console. Suddenly, the machines powered up. Lights blinked on, screens showed star maps, and a deep voice echoed in the chamber. Welcome, heir of Valari legacy. Your trial begins. John blinked. Trial. Vela looked worried. Your uncle did not tell you everything. Scifi stood tall. This is more than inheritance. It's a test. Suddenly the chamber shook. The voice continued. To prove your worth, you must pass the trial of the ancients. Only then will the full power of the Valari be yours. John swallowed hard. I don't want to fight ancient tests. Scifi smiled. You don't have a choice, Vela added. But you won't be alone. John looked at both women. He was scared, but he was ready. The ancient chamber hummed with energy. John Miller stood in the center, the glowing Valari artifact floating gently before him. Around him, the strange machines blinked and whirred as if alive. The air was thick with a sense of challenge. The deep voice echoed again. To prove your worth, you must face the trial of the ancients. Use your mind, your courage, and your heart. Fail, and the power will be lost forever. John swallowed hard. He wasn't a soldier or a scholar. He was a mechanic. Yet here he was, standing on the edge of an ancient alien trial, with two powerful alien women by his side. Scifi tightened her grip on her plasma blade. Whatever this trial is, we face it together. Vela nodded, fingers dancing across her. Scanner, I will help you decode the puzzles to make a good team. John took a deep breath. Okay, let's do this. Suddenly the floor beneath them shifted, the chamber transformed. Walls slid away to reveal a vast arena lit by glowing crystals. The walls were covered in glowing symbols that moved and changed. In the center was a pedestal with 3 slots, shaped like the artifact, and 2 other unknown shapes. John looked around. What now? The voice answered. You must unlock the 3 seals. First by knowledge, the second by strength, the third by choice. John looked at Scifi and Vela. Which one do you want? Scifi stepped forward. I will take strength. Vela smiled softly. I will help with knowledge. John looked at the last slot, and I guess the choice is mine. Vela moved to the control panel and started reading the glowing symbols. According to these writings, the first seal is a puzzle of logic. We must answer the questions correctly to open it. John watched carefully as Vela translated the ancient Valari language. The puzzle began. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? John blinked. That's an old riddle from Earth. The answer is a human. The panel lit up with green light. The first seal opened. Vela smiled. You surprised me. John shrugged. I read a lot of old stories. Next was Ziri's challenge. She stepped into the arena, and a giant robotic guardian appeared. It towered over her, glowing red eyes scanning. Scifi raised her plasma blade. The battle was fierce. The robot moved fast and hit hard. But Scifi was faster. She dodged a crushing blow and struck the robot's power core with a strong slash. The robot staggered and then shut down. The second seal opened with a loud hiss. John and Vela cheered. Now only 1 seal remained. The voice echoed. The final seal opens only to the one who chooses wisely. Your decision will decide the fate of the Valari legacy. John stepped forward. The last slot pulsed gently. He held the artifact tightly. Suddenly, visions filled his mind, images of great power but also of war, destruction, and endless battles. The voice warned, choose wisely. Will you use this power to conquer or to protect? John closed his eyes. He thought of Earth, his simple life, and the two alien women who trusted him. He thought of all the people who could suffer if this power fell into the wrong hands. John opened his eyes. He reached out and placed the artifact gently into the slot. The chamber glowed. You choose protection. You are worthy. Suddenly, the chamber transformed again. Screens lit up, showing distant colonies and worlds. Many were in trouble, suffering from war, famine, and disease. The voice said, "The Valari power is now yours to command. Use it to heal, to defend, and to bring peace." John looked at Vela and Zyri. "We have work to do." The Valari technology responded to John's command. A holographic interface appeared. John started learning how to use the machines. Vela helped him understand the science. Zyri prepared defenses. Together, they sent healing waves to distant colonies, restored power grids, and built protective shields around vulnerable worlds. But not everyone was happy. A message arrived from an alien fleet: surrender the Valari artifact or face destruction. John smiled slightly. "We don't fight with weapons alone," he said. Zyri smirked. "I like that." John sent a message back. "The artifact is protected. If you attack, you destroy yourselves." The enemy fleet paused. John used the Valari tech to send a warning pulsa, wave of energy that disabled their weapons temporarily. The enemy retreated, confused and defeated. Days passed. John, Vela, and Zyri grew closer. Zyri admired John's bravery and kindness. Vela respected his intelligence and heart. John realized he cared for both women deeply. They were not just bound by contract anymore. They were family. One evening, as the three watched a twin sunset on Valara Prime, John spoke. "I never wanted this life. I was just a mechanic." Zyri smiled softly. "But you became more." Vela reached for John's hand. "And we are with you, no matter what." John looked at them and smiled. For the first time, he felt he belonged. The twin suns of Valara Prime slowly dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and purple. John Miller stood on a hilltop with Zyri and Vela beside him. The gentle breeze carried the scent of wildflowers and fresh earth. It was peaceful here, but John knew their journey was far from over. They had unlocked the ancient Valari technology. With it, they were helping rebuild worlds torn apart by war and suffering. John had become more than just a mechanic. He was a leader, a protector, and now, husband to two remarkable alien women. Days earlier, John had received a message from the Galactic Council. They were cautious, but curious about the new power John wielded. Many feared the Valari legacy could be a weapon for conquest. John wanted to prove them wrong. He organized a meeting with leaders from nearby star systems. The conference was held on Starhaven, the space station he inherited. The halls buzzed with diplomats and warriors from many worlds. John stood before them, calm but confident. "Power is not about domination," John said, his voice steady. "It is about protection, about helping those who cannot help themselves. My uncle believed this, and so do I." Some leaders nodded. Others still watched with suspicion. But all knew one thing: they could not ignore the human who had awakened the Valari legacy. Back on Valara Prime, John worked with Vela and Zyri to expand their efforts. Vela focused on science and healing. She developed new medicines using Valari technology that cured diseases once thought incurable. Colonies flourished under her care. Zyri trained defenders to protect these worlds. Her warrior spirit and tactical mind made her an unmatched leader in battle drills, yet she was gentle with those she cared about. John admired both women deeply. They were different, but balanced him perfectly. Zyri's strength and Vela's wisdom guided him. Together, they were unstoppable. One quiet evening, the stars sparkled overhead. Zyri approached John. Her glowing yellow eyes softened. "John," she said, "I have fought many battles. I never expected to find peace. Daughter love." John smiled. "Gently, you changed me more than you know." Vela came closer, her pale green skin glowing softly in the moonlight. I feel the same, she said. What started as duty became something more. John looked at them both, feeling his heart swell. I never asked for this, he admitted, but I cannot imagine life without either of you. Scifi reached for his hand. Vela took the other. We are yours, not by contract, but by choice, they said together. News came that a nearby colony was under attack by pirates. Without hesitation, John, Scifi, and Vela boarded the Starhaven and set course. When they arrived, the colony was surrounded by fire and smoke. The pirates were ruthless, but John had a plan. Using the Valerie shields, they protected the colonies. People Scifi led the defenders in fierce battles, her plasma blade cutting through enemy lines. Vela used technology to disable the pirates' weapons and heal the wounded. John coordinated the efforts, his mind sharp and steady. The pirates were defeated, the colony cheered. John realized then the true power of the Valar legacy IT was not just technology, but the will to protect and unite. After the battle, the colony leader approached John. You are not just a human. You are a guardian of the galaxy. John smiled humbly. I am only a man trying to do what's right. Scifi and Vela stood beside him, proud and strong. Back on the Starhaven, John took a moment to look at the stars. He thought of his simple life on Earth, how far he had come. He thought of his uncle, who had trusted him with this great legacy. And he thought of Scifi and Vela, the alien women who had become his wives, his partners, and his family. John turned to them and said, We have a new destiny, together. Grinned. Let the galaxy watch. Humans are more than they seem. Vela nodded, and love is stronger than any contract. John laughed softly, pulling them both close. Under the twin suns of Valara Prime, a new chapter began.